when I got the script, I gave it to my daughter, who said, I said, check this out. It's really beautiful. Tell me what you think. And she read it, and she said, you got to do this movie. This movie's for you. You got to do this movie. And I said, well, because, and I said, she says, if there's an opportunity, I'd like to audition for the movie. And I said, well, we're just getting started, so I'm sure once we have auditions, there's no reason why you shouldn't go in. Now, that took a while, because we were trying to cast a name for that part to help with the financing. In the meantime, she signed up for pole dancing classes, which is very exciting for me. And luckily for me as a father and for the film, we never were able to attract a name for the part. And then she auditioned for Entourage for Sheila Jaffe, who is our casting director. She did not get the part, but she called Raymond and said, you gotta read Andy's daughter for this part. She'd be perfect, she's fantastic. I just read her. And then Raymond said, I hear your daughter is great. And I said, yeah, she's a beautiful actress. And I want to read her. And she said, she's very eager. She's been pole dancing for 4 months. And that's all I gotta say. But it's important for me and her, just so you know that it's your decision. I'm not gonna influence that. I would be honored to work with her, but you're the director. It's your call, And
I'm still
she
going
got the
back
part.
to
I was very proud of her.
the moment when you're saying to her, yeah, you should audition, but we're looking for a big name first. That's just that wonderful father-daughter thing that could keep the therapist couch so busy.
Autobiographical information of him, whether it be audio, visual, or in terms of text.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Garcia, I just want to tell you that I loved you in Hoodlum as Lucky Luciano, one of my favorite films. As a screenwriter, I would like to know what type of role or character do you enjoy playing the most?
I don't think there's I don't have an answer for that. I mean, I'm open to be stimulated by any character. I don't have a set thing that I look for. I just kind of receive it. If I'm stimulated by it, then I say, oh, I want to play this part. It's not like I have a prerequisite of saying I'm looking for this. I'm really not looking for anything. I have stories that I want to tell that come out of me. I have a movie now that I've co-written about Hemingway in the last years of his life in Cuba during the time he wrote The Old Man and the Sea, that I'm collaborating with Sir Anthony Hopkins. So that's something that's born out of my own interest. In terms of what's out there, I'm just available to be stimulated by what comes my way. I certainly like to do more comedy, but it's hard to find good comedically written scripts, or for people to even think of me comedically. So I'm open. I don't have any. It's not a checklist for me. It's more like an emotional reaction.
I am still in love with you now. My question is, you said something there that it was difficult to get into acting. Why was it so difficult? And also, can someone like myself get started at such a late age? Because I would absolutely love the profession and have kind of put it off for so long. And also, you said you were a musician. I wanted to know what musical instruments you play besides your voice.
Oh, thank you. I play percussion and piano. What's that? I do perform. I have a band, and I've been, I produce for many years. I was producing music for Maestro Cachao, performing in his band. Then I still.
You and Jeff Bridges were performing this weekend.
That's right.
Yes.
We had a little bit
at some
of
bar somewhere.
At a bar at the Spirit Awards. We used to jam after working with Jeff, and Emily was his dive. After we worked, we'd go into his trailer. We used to jam, and that was our release. But when I first started, there was no cable television, and there was just there was no independent distributors, and there was no Miramaxes or anything. So it was just like the major studios and the 3 networks and PBS. So the ability to get auditions or to find work in the film and television was much more reduced than it was today. And I was very heavily, aside from the fact that it took me very many years to find an agent who would represent me, which obviously without an agent is very hard to get auditions. The opportunity, the intense stereotyping that was going down because of my last name, I could not get into, be submitted to parts that were sort of like Hispanic or Latino, and the Hispanic part that existed in those days were basically kind of like Mexican gang members. And so when the one audition I'd have in 6 months, I'd go in there and people go, what are you doing here? And I go, I'm here, you called me in. He goes, oh, you're not Mexican, you're not a gang member. And I'm going, no, but I'm an actor. He goes, oh no, we're looking for real gang members. And it's true. In the office outside waiting to come in, there was a bunch of gang members out there. So it was just very difficult because I couldn't, I was boxed in. So it took me about, I moved to LA in '78, and in 1985 I finally got a part that I was in a movie called Mean Season, that I was able to kind of show a little bit my work that then began to open some doors for me. A mí me gusta mucho Carola, el son de altura, con sabrosura, bailarlo sola. A mí me gusta muy despacito, como lo baila, con su chiquillo, contenta dice.
Look at that. Even if you didn't Pete, take us home. One more clip. All right, I'm going to ask you a last question that has to do with the movie, City Island, that we saw. When you look at you, it's not the movie now, it's not the whole thing, it's just you looking at you. And not saying, geez, I was great in that scene, or this is, wow, Andy, you really did it. But is there a moment, 30 seconds even, that resonates for you when you look at you on the screen doing it? You're pausing, and Alan Arkin hates it. He spent 5 years of his life.
Well, I don't know. There's so many little personal things for me in the movie that were things that came out of the moment. That it's a beautiful script, but there's always these things where the character speaks, where it's an improvisation, but it's the character speaking out of the moment that you're lost in, and I'm trying to think of these things like, I'm just going to rattle off things like at the end of the movie where I turn after seeing my son, I say to my son, you're
You belong to me now.
So I say to him, what they just said, you're my. Anyway, that's one moment. And I say, you're my boy now, you belong to me now. And then out of that kind of emotional state, which I'm in right now, I turn to my daughter and I say, as a proud father, hug your brother. So, because it was like him, finally taking responsibility for his family. So that's one moment. But I really enjoyed the audition sequence. I came up with this idea that was to empower this whole Brando thing. And I did the impression to Raymond before we started the movie, and I said, I think we should do this whole Brando thing. And Raymond kind of fell out of his chair when I did it. And he said, oh, I don't know if it'll work, but we'll try it. For a long time, he didn't think it would work, and I said, trust me, it will work. Put it in the movie.